Well, hello, 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 and welcome to another episode of Ladies and Gents Listen Up. I hope everybody is having a wonderful day. I am, because in Michigan, guess what? The sun has come out. I think spring has finally sprung, and I am excited about it. How are you today, Mr. Carpenter?
I'm doing very well. How are you, Dr. Liz?
I am doing well. There's something about that sun and that vitamin D that get down in your soul. Alrighty, before we get started, you all don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. Somebody wants to hear about relationships from a different perspective. Let's run on over to Grandma's cookie jar and let's see what Grandma's cookie jar has in store for us. And you know what? I'm gonna stop y'all from telling me that I stuffed this jar because I promise you I do not. But let's see what Grandma's cookie jar is saying today. Today we're gonna talk about top the top secrets that can ruin a relationship, right? So stay to the end. I'm sure there's going to be something for you. All righty, here we go. Grandma's cookie jar, not Dr. Liz's wisdom, but Grandma's cookie jar says, when you can't find the sunshine, be the sunshine. Awesome. And on the flip side, we do two sides of it. Every flower must grow. Ooh, every flower must grow through dirt.
Okay, I like that one.
Every flower must grow through dirt. Wow, wow, that's awesome. That's awesome. But we're gonna do something just a little bit different today because we had a viewer's comment that we wanted to highlight. And so Ramona, thank you so much for your comment. And her comment was on the 4 ways to date and mate. Her comment says, never overlook anything that makes you uncomfortable or that is questionable. It is better to investigate and find out that you were wrong than to ignore it and find out that you are or you were right. Go back to the investigation, right?
I see why you picked that one. That's in your camp.
It stood out. Boop, boop, boop. Well, all right. Let's get on with today's topic. And I know you asked me a question earlier, and we talked about is it just keeping the secret to yourself that 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 contains the secret in of itself? Is it that it, or is it the secret like spelled out? You want to talk about that just a little bit before we get started?
Yeah, first I want to tell you thank you for letting me be a part of your podcast. I gotta tell you, I really appreciate this time. We come together on Thursdays, and I really didn't realize how important that was to the community because now I'm being stopped and asked questions about the podcast, and I'm hearing people's comments, and it is fascinating to me to realize how close people follow what me and you say. So it's really refreshing. So thank you. Now,
Thank you.
when we're talking about the secrets that ruin a relationship. You got to realize something. Are we talking about the secrets that you keep to yourself? And then are we talking about the secrets of the content of the secret? Because for instance, if I have a secret, let's say when me and my spouse mate or partner are together and a lot of what she does irk the crap out of me, just makes me just I can't take it. But
Okay.
I grin and bear along, go along. I grin and say, okay, everything is fine. That's a secret. That's a secret I'm keeping. Is that something that's gonna hurt my relationship? Yes or no? I think the answer is yes, it's gonna hurt my relationship because I'm giving false mix messages. So
Absolutely.
over
Absolutely.
the long haul, that's going to erode my relationship. Okay, now that's keeping a secret. Now the content of the secret. Go ahead.
Let me ask just one thing on that, because what it does is it stops the authenticity, right?
Yeah.
And you're not allowing yourself to be your full self in the relationship. So basically, you're stealing from both of you when you are in that mode because you're not allowed to be your full self, which is absolutely amazing, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
you're not allowing that person to maybe even self correct. Maybe if it's something that they can correct and it's something that you can correct, then you have a more healthy relationship. So yes, I agree. Because that's one secret. Now you were saying about the second type of secret.
Okay, now the second type of secret is the content. Let's say And this I'm going way off the deep end here. Let's say I had a doctor's appointment or a visit, and my spouse or significant other didn't know, and the doctor told me I got 6 months to live. You know, I know this, and I don't want to hurt or alert my partner. So I come home as business as usual, and I don't share that, and I keep that secret because I said I'm going to make these last 6 months the best years of the best 6 months of my life and her life. So I'm going to do all this stuff, and she's saying, "Well, honey, wow, you awfully attentive lately. Why are we getting all these special vacations and stuff?" Yes, she thinks she's benefiting, that I've new lease on life, but really inside I'm dying. I'm really literally dying. And I don't tell her
Wow.
that. So that, yes, that's bad. That's
Right.
bad.
Right. Wow. I mean, yeah, you kind of took us there with that one. You really took us there with that one because, right. I mean, wow. And that's food for thought. I would love to hear what our viewers have to say about that one. That was a deep one, because we were
Yeah.
talking about secrets. So you're opening it up, though, really. So to see secret on this end or a secret on this end. What is your relationship? What have you? Well, I guess too. What did you agree to? Because I'm all for integrity in your negotiations, whatever agreements that you make with one another. And I'm literal. So sometimes that's not always, it's kind of like six on one hand, half a dozen on the other. But when you're literal, it's like, okay, did we agree that we were not going to hold secrets? What did we agree on in our contract? And all contracts are renegotiable as well. But I mean, what did we agree on? So that helps me to kind of give me a barometer of my integrity to my word.
Correct. But before we do that, let's get the heavy lifting out of the way before we get into the dialogue of this. Because when you're talking about secrets, you're talking about first trust. You're talking about the trust, because when you come together, trust and honesty go hand in hand in any relationship. If you don't have trust and honesty in your relationship, whether it's a marriage or whether it's a partnership or whatever it is, that it's going to erode over time. So that first thing, the best parts of this, or the major part of this, if you having secrets, you eroding the trust and the honesty relationship. And that secret, or those secrets, can be as little or as large as communication, like I just said with the death thing. So those are the things that you got to realize. No matter what the secret is or how you look at a secret, the heavy lifting part is trust and honesty. If you're not keeping those, no matter what your contract with your partner is, it erodes over time and it festers and it don't get any better. So now we can talk about everything else, because we got the reason why, what the deal is. Because if you're keeping secrets, you're not being honest, and you can't be trusted.
Absolutely.
And you're keeping secrets, that's communication 101. I'm
Absolutely.
not knowing what you're feeling in your heart and what you're thinking. Because the Bible says, when they talk about what's in your mind, how you think, but it's in your heart. How you really think and how you feel is in your heart. So if your heart's a lie, if your heart can't be trusted, it's gonna ruin the relationship. Now let's have some
Absolutely.
fun with this thing, Dr. Liz. What were you saying before I went into all
Absolutely.
that?
No, no, no. That's it. I pulled up a couple of things that just kind of pulled some different people's responses
Mm-hmm.
to what are the top secrets that actually ruin a relationship. But I think you nailed it when you talked about honesty and you talked about trust. That's just the bottom line. And when you start anything with a shaky foundation, you're not going to get a good result. I don't care what it is, whether it's baking a pie or whatever you're doing, you're not going to get a good result. So if your goal is to get a good result, here are some of those. These are about 7 things that I'm just going to throw in the mix, and we can kind of mix it up a little bit.
Well,
Go ahead.
give us all 7, and then we're just
Right.
gonna have fun with it.
Exactly. Yep. Here we go. So number 1, a sneaky emotional affair. Ooh, right.
That's
Number
number
2.
one.
Number 2, all of your baggage. Number 3, ongoing money issues. Number 4, you're struggling with addiction or addictions. Poor communication is number 5. Number 6 is criticism. And number 7 is the blame shame game.
Oh, girl, you gotta. I mean, that's a list. That's a list. That's a list. You know what? I always say poster child. You know, what's the poster child? What does that look like in another in your partner? If you saw a partner look like that, whoa, run. Just run.
But
Just run.
the thing is that any of those seven are really, really challenges. And I guess, establishing, what are your deal breakers is, I mean, or what are you willing to work through? Now, we're talking about work through when it doesn't become abuse, because some of this can really become abusive, right? And so, we know about forgiving, we know about turning the other cheek, we know about all of that, but we also have to go and remember to thyself be true, because oftentimes we'll sit in something. I say, well, we have that time, our dash between our birth date and our date of transition. What are we going to do
Mm-hmm.
with that? Who are we going to allow in that space? Are we going to allow toxic people that are not willing to go and handle their stuff or do their own work or take care of their issues, whether it's childhood trauma or what have you? Because a lot of times that's what the baggage is. We're bringing unresolved issues into a new relationship, thinking that, okay, wow, we're getting a blank slate, but actually you're not, because you're bringing all of that heaviness with you, whether it's whatever trauma it is. And we go into some of the, when you talk about people struggling with addictions or somebody having an emotional affair, that's the way that they handle things versus handling it with the person and dealing with the issues. They'll go off and they will have an emotional affair. And it's like, what are your deal breakers? So I think this list kind of knocked it out the ballpark when you talk about secrets that ruin a relationship.
And one reason why I wanted you to get that list out quick and early in the conversation is because if you notice over the last 2 to 3 years, the world has changed. And now what's the new norm? I don't think it's going to go back to where it used to be. It used to be, you could count on the person that you had across from you. You had time to get to know that person, and you had time to work through issues and stuff. Now the world has changed to the point now where people are all about themselves. People don't know what tomorrow is going to bring. They don't know when the next shoe is going to drop. So now a lot of people are playing for keeps now in the fact that they're not bringing their true authentic self to you. They're looking to gain something. They're looking for a short-term win. So now
Mm,
when you date or mate, you really have to put your investigative head on, like you say now, because you don't know, are you getting the true person? Or are you getting what now? Because now a lot of people now, their financial situations are bad. Their emotional stuff is bad now. But they want somebody. They feel they should love and want to get out in the dating game too, like everybody else. And when they get out there, they're broken people. And they're broken. Some are broken because of the losses they shared in their life over the last couple of years with the COVID, and some just an emotional wreck. Because this time, now you don't know what you're getting. Anybody can clean up for the short race, but the
right,
long race,
right.
what do you get?
Well, this is the thing, though. I think that's when we have to go back, or it's a good idea to go back to setting your own standards. See, I don't think that is the answer is in the other person. The answer is in yourself. It's setting your standards and it's keeping your investigative hat on to see if they would they say if it walks like a duck, walks like a duck, it's a duck. There was a movie. I use movie parables because they're so just is so important. Sparkle, the remake, the
Mm-hmm.
Whitney Houston remake of it. So he said, let me see them in the light of day, right? So they were beautiful at night when they performed, but in the light of day, one of the actually lead singer, she had an addiction to cocaine.
Mm-hmm.
And so that came out. But I'm using that parable to say that if you take your time, I mean, just because the world has sped up doesn't mean that you have to speed up. Because if you don't want this bad outcome or bad result, then actually working through your situations or taking a self examination or self inventory. Do I have emotional baggage that I need to work on? Do I have ongoing financial challenges? What is it that I need to do to handle those situations so that when I come to the table, I'm not expecting someone to be my savior. I'm not expecting somebody to save me. I'm coming to the table saying, okay, this is what I'm bringing. I want a partner in this together. And so when you want a partner in this together, a support system, whatever that is, whatever that looks like, but it's setting those standards for yourself first and saying, okay, do I come to the table, in an unhealthy state? I don't work out, I don't eat right, but here I am. I want you know, this statuesque person that's eating right, that's exercising, that's doing all the sacrificing, but I'm not bringing that to the table. So you do, I think, your energy, you attract that. But be willing to wait the time out until what you really want shows up. Other than that, you're gonna keep on repeating the same cycle over and over again. And if you keep repeating that same cycle, expecting a different result, that is truly the definition of insanity, right?
Yes, 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 yes. So when you and you brought up a good point there, because you have to first realize who you are and what your boundaries are and what you're willing to take and what you're not willing to take. Because when you first meet someone, there I'm told that you get you get their best foot forward. You see the best representation of themselves. And then when you get down the road a little bit, then you begin to see who they really are. But now once you begin to see who they really are, you got to make some decisions. Do I continue on this race in this journey, or do I cut and move on?
Make that decision quick. Do the director's cut quick. Because the deeper you get in, the more you've invested, like our last episode, return on investment, the more you've invested, the harder that cut becomes, because we mesh together, and then it's, wait a minute, how many times have you seen a red flag or seen issue and say, okay, maybe I can love them into, I don't know, whatever the challenge is. Let's see, one of the things are, maybe I can love them into better communication. Okay, you can work through that if the person is willing. But somebody that's criticizing everything that you do, you can never do anything right. And this is the test too. How do you really feel in your spirit around that person? Does that person lift you up and help you to become the best you that you can be? Or does that person criticize and put you down, make you feel like you can never do anything right, or do just their very presence make you want to run for the door? But you're sitting there holding on because you don't want to be lonely at night in the bed, or you want somebody to be there, whether they're there or not. A lot of people are emotionally unavailable. So are you making compensations for those things that you really want? Or are you saying, you know what, I'm going to be the best that I can be. I'm going to treat myself the best that I can. And then I'm going to hold off till I attract that person into my life. Or are we going to keep on making those, looking the other way, looking the other way, looking the other way. And we look up and we don't like who we are at that point. Like, it's up to
Yes.
us. The choice is really ours. And I think that's the power or the empowerment that we need to take back for ourselves.
You said that, because that's a secret too. Because if you keep looking the other way, keep looking the other way, in your heart, you know that this isn't working for you, but you crave their attention, and you continue to stay in that relationship. You're keeping a secret too. You're keeping a secret. You're keeping a secret because you're not letting your true feelings know, because you're not holding the person accountable, or you're not saying, hey, look, here's what I'm feeling, and let's address this. And addressing this may mean that we may have to separate. Or addressing this may mean we may have work to do. But if you don't bring that forward, that's a secret there too.
And you go back to communication. And if we're holding stuff back and we're not, then that's something on our checklist. I need to work on my communication skills, because I need to say, need to be able to say, okay, let's sit down. I think we talked about it in one of our love language series when we talked to the couples, and one of the couples, they had quarterly reviews with one another. And people say, don't run your relationship like a business. But if you want a successful relationship, you have to have some kind of checkpoints along the way. And what you bring up front, what you start in a relationship with, is how the relationship is going to go. So if you want to communicate, or somebody to communicate with you, then that's number one. What are my standards? My standards, I need communication, and oftentimes if you hold back on that, and then now you get to the mid of the relationship, or the middle point, and now you say, well, I need communication. Well, it was okay for me to, be on my phone texting while we're at dinner. It was okay for me to do all these things. You said it was okay because by your actions, by you not objecting to it, or, even the way that you present it or bring it, you can say, when we're sitting at dinner, I would love to have your full attention, because when you're on your cell phone, it makes me feel, less than, or makes me feel neglected, or what have you. The way that but when some people say, put that phone down, and and if you're doing all of that, the person can't hear you, because their first thing they do is put their defenses up.
Yes,
Say,
yes,
well, that's what you do. They get to fight back
yes,
and forth.
yes,
But it's the way that you bring it. You can get more bees with honey, been taught, than you can with vinegar. So
yes,
I think communication, bottom line, you talked about trust and honesty, but communication, trust, and honesty is at the top of that list so that you
yes.
don't
That is.
ruin your relationship, right?
Here's something I noticed. I've got five sisters, and one of my businesses I have is a hairline called Ducey's Hairline, and a Ducey's and Hairline. I get to talk to a lot of ladies because sometimes I have vending things where I'm set out at these fairs and these big events, and I talk to a lot of ladies. So I'm noticing that a lot of ladies are nurturers. They feel they can take this broken man or this broken vessel and they can turn that into something worthwhile. And it bothers me. Oh, well, I'm concerned that a lot of times they go in knowing that this person is broken, and then somewhere down the road when it becomes too much weight for them to carry, then it's a problem. So they brought it when it was broken.
And now you're trying to put it
That
all back
relationship.
together.
Yes.
Yes.
Share that with me.
I'm
Give me
so
your thoughts
glad.
about that.
I'm so glad you said that. I'm so glad you said, because that is one of the big issues. That is one of the big issues. If you know that person started off the started off at the beginning and they're lying, what do you think loving them gonna do? You think loving them gonna stop them from lying? you know, that's that broken thing. You trying to, what do you call it? Somebody told me this a long time ago. We need to stop trying to build a bear. That tickled me. That tickled me. Like, you keep wanting to build this bear. Can we just get a bear that's already built? How about that? He's already went through the He's already went through all of this, and now we got the bear. He's not sneaking, having an emotional affair. He don't have a whole lot of baggage. He's a cute bear. No, a strong bear, right? He's a strong bear. He don't have no ongoing money issues. He worked on his stuff. It's just the whole thing. He can communicate with you, and you know what? But everybody's bear is gonna look different. Everybody's bear gonna be different. But can we get out of the Build a Bear factory and get on to the boxing? He boxed up now, y'all.
Yes. So that's when I was a kid, when I was young, I used to always love to be with my mom. I used to like to hear my mom and older people talk. I used to always want to hear them talk because that's where glean wisdom. And I didn't realize I was gleaning wisdom then. I guess I was being nosy then. I guess I don't know, but I told you my mom. But I remember my mom when her friends came because we lived in a neighborhood, and my mom had a lot of friends, and during the day they would come over each other's house and talk. So I remember this one particular time, me and my mom was talking. Their friends came over, and she said, "Rufus, go out, play, go out and play. Cause grown folk talking." And I would sit on the porch, but I still could hear. And then I didn't know because they were talking, and I heard one of the ladies says, "Girl, I'm gonna take this secret to my grave." and later on, those secrets start looking like somebody else.
Wow. Wow, you heard it. You heard it all. You took it all in. Wow, wow, wow. But I
Those
mean,
secrets hurt.
yeah, yes, they do. Those secrets hurt. They do hurt. I tell you, man. But I just think again, it's just be to thyself be true is what I say. To thyself be true, And I
Yeah.
just think that life is what we make it. We have the power, and I think sometimes we forget that we have the power when we have a pain point of loneliness or a pain point of just wanting to have somebody in your life, and then we just we kind of just veer off and end up in worse condition because now we have a whole situation to deal with versus just dealing with our own bottom line, dealing with our own being true to yourself. Do we even keep secrets and lie to ourselves about things? But just that truth and that honesty and that good communication, I think it just goes a long way.
I tell you what, let's take us out with give us your list of those five or six or nine you had that were bad. And then let's leave on a great note. Let's talk about the secrets of a great relationship or a great marriage. Okay, so you which one you want to do? You give I tell you, give yours, and then I'll give the secrets of a great marriage.
Oh, okay. You want me to give the secrets that ruin the relationship, the ones that I
Yes,
just
right,
okay.
right. Then we're in on a positive note. Give the good ones, the good
Oh,
secrets that the good things of a relationship, the secret of a good
okay.
relationship.
So these are the things we want to stay away from, y'all. Avoid sneaky emotional affairs, all your baggage, right? Ongoing money issues, your struggles with addiction, poor communication, criticism, blame, or shame. One thing I to add on that before you go into the positive side, some studies have shown that generally relationships end within 3 to 5 months from the day that they begin. It takes a deep, comfortable, and caring bond for a relationship to last. So I'll toss it over to you.
Yes, that's good because the secrets of a great relationship and a great marriage partnership, what it is, honesty, trust, compromise, remembering each other's birthdays, anniversaries. Remember that people need physical contact, the cuddling, being generous, being playful, having fun, taking some time to just focus on your and your partner's desires. These are the things that make a relationship and keep a relationship over the long term. If you want to keep secrets and have to keep secrets, do this. Whatever hobby your spouse or mate likes, take lessons or learn that, take a secret and learn those hobbies or whatever that is, so when your spouse want to do whatever that activity is, you can be more of a support to them, that now they, honey, wow, I didn't know you could do this. Because for instance, if she likes skating, learn to skate. So when she want to go skating, let me go with you, honey, and skate. Do those kind of secrets, do those type of
Mm.
things, and that way you will keep your relationship and your bond and your connection stronger, because life is too short. Life is too short. Love the one you with. The time, and I think the number one thing you said that was the bad secret was affairs. The time it takes to go out and have an affair, take that time and invest it into your spouse, a significant other, so that way you can have that new relationship right there with your same spouse. All right.
There we go. Isn't that a thought for you, right?
Because remember, every flower comes through dirt first.
Hey, we can close it down right there. Don't forget, you all, like, share, and subscribe. Share this information with somebody else. Listen, learn, leverage the information. Bye for now.